Hello, happy weekend. um, so I'm just oriented, situated. We've been watching movies and listening to music. We did that big stream last night. After this is over, Chris and I are watching some music documentaries. We're gonna do Swans first. Swans grew out of the same New York City experimental underground scene that Sonic Youth did, and Glenn Branca was the kind of the guy that established that scene. And they're my favorite satanic band. They're not overtly satanic, but their music represents. He kind of carries on to me from Jim Morrison and the Doors, probably more than anybody. That kind of dark, Dionysian, mystical, transcendent, like grandiose, symphonic kind of rock style. And very interesting guy, very interesting story, and we're gonna watch it after the stream. So that's happening today. It seemed like there was something else. I'm still recruiting for that mage game, the role-playing game. I think that's it. I was gonna hang on. Let me get. I'm soon. I wanted to touch on one little thing that I didn't get to touch on the other day. I was talking about like Cajun cultural traits in relation to, or just two cultures in relation to each other, and all the little things they notice about each other that build up over time in the historical record. The descriptions that they have of like one culture has another, and the descriptions that cultures assign themselves, particularly in relations to other cultures. So all of that together forms what's called this ascriptive boundary, and that's kind of the line that demarcates one culture from another and bounds whatever the contents are at that point in history. And so through all of my Cajun research and stuff, I hang on, I'm being distracted by social media, sorry. I was going through it and seeing some of the traits. I have like a list of the traits that were ascribed to us and that we've ascribed to ourselves, etc., in relation to the dominant Anglo-American culture. And they're just interesting. I want to share some of them. Now, the first set are the traits. They're Akkadian traits. So these are traits that develop. Remember, we came over from Europe, mostly from like the northwest coast of France, Poitou, the Poitou area, Poitiers, and so mostly rural French, but there were other countries and other nationalities and cultures that came over and settled with them. And we were there long enough to kind of develop our own culture. And we had the Micmac Indians and the British and the French rulers that kept we had different rulers at any given time over Nova Scotia. It kept changing hands. So at any given time, we were ruled by the British and the French. So around all of those groups, we kind of developed our own little cultural identity separate from any of those groups, French, English, American Indian, although it was kind of a blend of some of it, particularly the American Indian. And so these are the traits that we eventually became known for as our culture developed. And they say it was the first North American culture, the first what's the word for it? Not indigenous, the first set of Europeans to come over and develop a distinctly North American culture that was separate and different from any of the cultures in Europe before that. And our little group of Acadians was the first North American culture to do that, our European culture to do that here in North America. So here are the traits: dedicated, stubborn, resilient, pettifogging, inventive, exasperating, peace-loving in the sense of pastoral and nonviolent. Deep attachments to immediate realities. They're not very abstract people. Interdependence, self-reliant, courageous, practical, hospitable, faithful, cheerful in adversity. And then here's the British impression of us on the British side, what they thought about us. Laziness, lack of enterprise, obstinate, contentious, stupid. They we didn't have a work ethic. To them, like they came from the Protestant work ethic, and to them we had no work ethic. Although we worked just as hard as anyone else, we got stuff done. But Cajuns and people in South Louisiana, we don't make a big deal about work. We do it, and we do it well, but we have fun while we're doing it, and we do it while we're doing a bunch of other things with it. So it looks like we're not like prioritizing work or focused on it. So for that reason, we have the reputation of not having a strong work ethic. But I would very much challenge that with my own life. And if you go to Louisiana, then they come to, absence of equivalent to Protestant work ethic. Now we're down in Louisiana and some additional traits. Hospitable to a fault, fun-loving, hedonistic, drinking, eating, dancing, gambling, self-imposed isolation, aloofness they have, which that's more group than individual. Although, as an aside, I want to comment that I have my report from the first grade where they did all that testing on me and they put me in the gifted program and everything. And the word aloof shows up at that report over and over, like how aloof I was around other kids, how aloof I was toward my siblings, how aloof I was toward the interviewer, etc. So that oppression of aloofness shows up in like autism and neurodivergence as well. I've gotten that a lot in my life. So it's interesting to see it come up in the Cajun context too. It basically a traditional rural folk culture, avoidance of arrogant and pretentious Anglo Creoles. I've always said there's two things that Cajuns absolutely cannot abide, and that is authority. We can't stand somebody pulling rank or trying to act like they're better than everybody else, and pretension. Again, someone trying to act more than what they are. Those are the two things we have no use for whatsoever. We're very down to earth. And the way we saw the Americans, and we had our own little term for them. This was kind of a slur in our language. We called them les Américains, the Americans. And it was always said with a sneer. That's les Américains. We saw them as acquisitive, materialistic, aggressive. That's interesting because they see us as aggressive. I guess aggressive in the sense of like colonizing and conquering everything. They had the financial and political and material apparatus to establish themselves wherever they wanted. So I think that's what the context for aggressive is. We were seen as hardworking, yet we practiced no work ethic nor honored one, which is true. If something needs to be done, I do it. I don't have any kind of conscious work ethic around it. It's not that hard for me to do what needs to be done. We were content with poverty, high value on egalitarian doctrine. We disparaged elitism and class arrogance. That is so true. Anti-deferential. We're as good as anyone. Strange and different. Again, it's interesting that shows up in the autism community as well. And there was I have a documentary, and there was a lady that was studying the Cajun music and the lyrics, and she was struck by how raw and fierce they were, she said. And I always thought those were two perfect words to describe our culture, raw and fierce. I've always liked that. So that's that little Cajun background thing I wanted to give. It's interesting because some of the things that show up with me socially and show up even sometimes on YouTube and the panel and social media seem like it's some of those traits. So when I first moved here, I kept telling people all the time when I started getting in these little conflicts, like little petty conflicts that I've never had anywhere else I've lived. And I kept telling people, it might be cultural. It's probably cultural. I wonder if this is cultural. I come from a very different culture, and it never meant anything to them. Like the cultural factors, they could not process or identify at all. And that's ironic because DEI is all about like accommodating different cultures, but they could not seem to see me as a distinct culture with distinct cultural traits. Like if you go to Louisiana, like if you don't like something about my personality, and you go to South Louisiana, chances are everybody down there is going to have that same trait. So when I'm isolated from my culture, some things that look like personality traits in me are actually cultural traits. And I don't know the difference. I can't tell what's unique to me and what's part of my culture. And so to people up here, it just looks like me as an individual is just really messed up. But I kept telling them that no, if you were in my culture, this would be normal. This would be normal. Nobody would be freaking out about this, et cetera, et cetera. And there are things on their end culturally that I can't process or understand and make no sense to me either. So it works both ways. And it's that double empathy problem that the autism community is familiar with. But there's also kind of a cultural double empathy, and I think a gender double empathy problem as well. All right, I'm going to drop the link. Panel is open. Come on up and chat. Clown, cut up. Tell me about open panel. Wow, it was only 10 minutes. It felt like half an hour. Did pretty good. I checked it. I checked the news. It doesn't look like there's anything new in the news. Mostly Israel stuff. Bexx, hello, and Daniel Barry. Yeah, I had a lot of fun last night. It was me and Chris and Uncle Fatty, and I I just really enjoyed our chat with Fatty last night. Hey Lanza, good to see you. Aloof 1828, at a distance but with the view. Yeah, I've always gotten like it shows up on here a little bit, and like people find me arrogant, or some people say I think I'm better than everybody else, or I'm sitting here smug or something. I get little comments like that. Growing up, my mom used to tell me how I thought I was better than everybody else, and I'm like, I have no idea where she's getting this from. That could not be further from what's in my head. She's making that up. That's something she's telling herself. And like I remember when I would learn new vocabulary words in school, I'd get real excited and to learn big words, and I'd come home and I'd start using them. And she got irritated, and she's like, we don't know what those words mean. You're just trying to act like you're better than everybody else, which is that's kind of a Cajun trait too. Like people that come off as more intelligent than everybody else kind of get taken down as well. And so I had this like stigma of around speech and vocabulary, and like I didn't know what words I was supposed to use with people and which words they would get like freaked out or irritated or threatened by or whatever. So I didn't really have a lot of people to learn to talk smart with growing up, and I still struggle with it to this day. I can usually do a pretty good job when I'm with smart people. Trigonometry, that's gotta be Lanza. Lanza, give me some kind of sign. We got Bexx. Did you see the stream last night when Barb came on, Satan's little helper? Alrighty, here's Lanza. And she sat with her camera off for a while, which is normal. Barb does that sometimes. And then all of a sudden, King Stephen pops up on the icon and starts cackling and laughing. It was him the whole time, and he snuck on the panel under Barb's name, and I didn't catch it. Hey, Lanza, what's
why would he do that?
the what?
Why would he do that?
I think just because he's Stephen, to kind of be a troll. It was it was a good troll. I got to give him credit for it.
I doubt that. Yeah, I mean, I'm not doubting your opinion. I just doubt his potential, sort of.
Oh well, perhaps. I mean, I might be a little more generous
A little
and
slow. Seriously, talk about autism. I'm surprised he isn't here. I'm surprised he doesn't run the show.
He was panel hopping yesterday.
Oh wait, that's what he tries to do. Never mind.
That's true. He does. He'll either stream someone else's channel to his and comment on it, or he'll go on their panel and stream it to his. Either way, he's doing his thing in the panelverse. What's up with you?
Oh, nothing, man. Just closing the lid on the dumpster that Steven lives in. Mostly. Taking out the trash here and there. Stuff like that.
Well, I'm in support of that. Let's do that.
Yeah, I'm friends with the coroner. He checks people's eyes. I meant to say court. Yeah. Did I say that out loud? I meant, good guy, real smart.
Who is?
Steve, man. Steve.
The same one we're talking about?
Yeah, he's a dope.
Okay.
That dude been dopey. That dude was in the Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. I saw him. He was with the other six. He was a dope one for sure.
I mean, he doesn't seem that different than a lot of us. Just somebody with a lot of time on his hands to sit around and stay on YouTube.
Yeah.
And kind of make that his world.
Dude, I don't make any content. That's where I differ from, I think, like everybody, I feel like. I mean,
do you have ambition?
Huh?
Do you want to make content? Do you have a channel?
Well, I think I make people content. So I don't.
And that's enough for you.
I don't know why. It's hard to envision all the reasons why somebody would look for content outside of themselves. But it's not hard to imagine why.
Creatures, we're social creatures, and we grow through inner.
Oh, and there's dude, people are without them even knowing, or even with them denying, they're just motivated by values that are less than, I don't know.
Well, as long as you're clear what values you're motivated by, I think that's
why I'm usually able to make fun of these people so much, to be honest.
Because you're secure in your values?
Well, I wouldn't say that, but I would say...
I was having this conversation with somebody just a minute ago. It's one of two things. It's either a security in our values, or it's the fact that we have literally been falling down the same bottomless pit so long that it's no longer scary and it's no longer shocking, and you're just kind of waiting for the bottom to get there, right? So you just kind of
what's the pit? Are you talking about the panelverse or modern society?
I'm talking about the negative people around you and everything. You've experienced it for so long. I'm using the bottomless as a metaphor. The metaphor is you experience it for so long that it no longer shocks you. It no longer scares you. It's have you ever seen that scene in Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey?
It's the frog in the boiling water story.
No. Have you seen Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey?
Who?
Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey.
I saw one of them.
Okay, it's the one where they go to hell.
Excellent adventure.
They go to hell in the second one, and and when they go to hell, they fall down a bottomless pit. There was a scene where they're falling in this pit for so long, they get bored. They're screaming for a long time, and eventually they stop screaming. They're like, so when are we gonna hit the bottom? We're just falling forever, and they start playing cards and shit. And it's just like a joke,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
And that's how I feel about this stuff, the panelverse. I'm tired of screaming. I don't scream anymore. I'm not.
You were
scared.
screaming the other day. You did a stream about music albums and stuff.
Well, no, I'm not scared anymore about about the negative part of the panelverse, about people like King.
Bro,
King
the first person, one of the first things I ever saw in the metaverse, I'm gonna give him a little, I guess, credit, was actually Illuminati. The reason why I bring this up is because it doesn't really get worse than that. So it's like I was taught
little
from the
bit.
worst or the best of the worst. I don't know what to say. Like, not taught, but like, like it's like, a lot of knowing what to do sometimes comes down to knowing what not to do. So that's why I don't know. I don't make any content, man. I don't have any allegiance to anybody other than people who continually show that they learn in some regard. Or sometimes Chris is right, and I get bored, and I will make fun of these people. I've done that to Steven. Did I need to make fun of him for an hour? No, I didn't. Did it help my life? No, it didn't. Did it make me laugh? Yes. Did it make others laugh? Yes.
Well, there's
But
value in that.
So you know what?
yeah, I mean, but not for me. I'm not. You know what I mean? I mean, there's a little bit.
Safe, Ryder. So that's good for you. You brought some light into the darkness of the bottomless pit that is the Panelverse. That's all we can hope to do. Is to throw a few glow sticks down this pit. And hopefully we'll provide some light to other people falling down the same pit that we are. That never seems to happen.
It's like, to me, it's like a lot of people like selling, like, it kind of seems like bootleg movies, Remember when you used to like what was it, like not Napster? I remember that.
The movie version.
Nero. I don't know. I remember like Nero, like burning movies, or, excuse me, sorry, going somewhere. Let's say it. To buy some movies that were like bootleg or something. And so there's a lot of people out here selling bootleg movies, bro. We all got our own movie right now. There's 4 movies on screen. There's 4 movies on one screen.
I want to make sure they're the right movies. Is that Bexx? Hey, Bexx, because I got fooled yesterday, so it's real easy to make a fake. Yes, it's me. Okay, I'm gonna have to start checking people.
I don't believe that. That sounded like Steven's voice to me.
Hello. I was going to say that there is a way to, I have my StreamYard turned on for authenticated, that it does authenticated Google users only. And then you can see when you let me up that it'll show my name, my real name.
I know that that's good knowledge. I did not know
that. It limits who can come on because they have to be signed in to
authenticated through Google.
I'm for that. I think they should.
I know, but I'm.
But yeah, there's always splash the screen up and hear a voice. It makes sense. But no, I don't bring the excitement today. I don't bring the madness. I'm not here to condemn you.
Well, it sounds like you had some drama last night, though. I heard about this from someone else, actually, even this morning.
What happened? Is there drama I missed?
What she I would say it sounds like it.
She said it in the comments. I mean, that's what I was told.
Oh, never mind. Oh yeah, because I'm not interested in it. That's why I did see it. Immediately dropped it from my brain.
Yeah.
That's the stuff that I'm talking about. That's the bottomless pit stuff I'm talking about. That's the stuff.
That's the stuff I have been ignoring for probably over a year now.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you're falling for so long.
It takes like a microsecond on my brain, and then it like leaves. A second later, it's not even there anymore.
You're falling endlessly in this pit, and therefore, like things like that are just like, oh, okay.
But I have like my shields up, so none of the muck is getting on me because I have this,
to me, like
boundary between me and all of it.
And what Jeff and Chris are describing is like the reason why I wonder why Bill Gates' company, as a man, is called Microsoft.
It's really don't do more content.
You know what?
I mean, come on.
You know what? I cannot believe I've never heard that joke before. Lanza, like as far as I'm concerned, you just like I mean, like I've always considered you like pretty high tier comedy jokes. But like that was put you an S tier because like I've never thought of that and I've never heard that before. And it's so obvious and right there in front of everyone's face. And I've never heard anyone make the Microsoft joke before. That's fucking brilliant. Just ultra props to you for that. I can't say anything else. I'm just
Bro,
like,
this is like a Saturday for me and my friends. All we do is like say like world leaders' names and then just make fun of them. Like that's what we do. I don't. It's not like
Well,
this comes very natural to me. Like, that's why I came up with the best name for a chastity belt would be called Dick Cheney. You know what I mean?
That's
It's like
hilarious.
how else are you gonna come up with those jokes,
I
man?
do
If
know
you,
what
if you don't make fun of these people, like, dude, who are these people, bro? They're on TV. What are they? Like, let me like. Have you guys ever tried out for a role? I don't think I've ever tried out
was
for a
in a
role,
movie.
like at all, like ever, like even in school or anything.
Oh yeah, I've
I
had
never
screen.
did it, bro. I'm like an OG, never try out for a role, dude. So if you want to call that a
Never
role,
acted at all. Have you read a script? Like
no,
you should try to read Chris's.
no, okay.
He'd be a good the friend, the role I was trying to play. He'd be perfect for him.
oh yeah, you'd be good for Sean.
For Sean,
Yeah, he's
Because
like
I
the
mean,
best
Sean,
friend, like the cool stone druggy hippie friend.
dude, I
that's-
gave a best man speech on mushrooms.
you did that thing, shit, man.
Chris,
That's awesome.
rope him in.
I don't know what I said. I do know I made him
That is a
laugh, and
very
then my
Sean
buddy
thing
was
to
Star
like,
do.
is born.
That's a very Sean thing to do.
I
So,
didn't
yeah,
write anything either, and I was real like nervous before it. I kept like the best maid. I kept like asking her. I kept bugging her to like see her speech and stuff. You know, I was like, let me see what you wrote. So I get like some sort of an idea because I'm a man, you know, and I didn't even
You
probably like
just winged
fucking.
it? Or
I
did you
probably
write
didn't
it?
get like my shit steamed or anything. I just showed up looking like one of the Three Stooges talking on mushrooms, talking about fucking nothing. You guys know what that's like.
Yeah, I think we have some experience in it.
I've never actually been to. I have a lot of friends that got married, including myself, and I've never actually, yeah, like me and my wife didn't really have like a wedding. We just got married, so like I haven't really been to many weddings of friends, so I've never gotten to be best man speech or anything like that. So I can only imagine. So.
Well, it wasn't great. Yeah, somewhere in the ballpark of probably average.
Well, did they have a good wedding? Was it fun and memorable for everybody? Because that's all
Well,
that
I
matters.
took mushrooms. Let me see. Yeah, it was pretty memorable for a few things for sure.
Are they still together?
They have since separated, and I blame myself slightly for it. Thanks, Jeff, for bringing that up.
You blame yourself. How did you your best
Well, I
man
could tell.
speech so
I know
bad?
one of the things I said that made everybody laugh was like I was like, "Yo, my friend." I was like, "He's a nice guy, you know. Now, thank God, since he met her." And I was like, you know, he didn't used to be this, you know, smart until he met her, you know. So like, I was just kind of like shitting on him the whole time. And he was
Yeah.
like, all right. He's like, all right. He's like, give me the.
Right?
He's like, do a toast, dude. Do a toast. I guess I was
That
like
was your
roasting him.
roasting him?
Yeah, he didn't want to hear me say how much better he was because of his wife. I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know
I mean,
these things.
I thought that's what a best man speech was supposed to be. Like that's what I would do. If I was put that point, I wouldn't touch the bride, but I would go after the groom. Like if it was a best man thing, I'd go after the groom.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't say anything.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, I'd go after the
It's her
groom
day
super
more
hard.
than
I'd roast
anything.
the fuck out of him because like if you're gonna put me up there, if you're gonna put me on the spot and make me
I think she used to always laugh so much every time whenever I hang out with him, I always make fun of him, and she like laugh her ass off. But now they aren't together, so I feel like I kind of like made her real. He was funny as fuck.
Plus, you fucking her probably.
But then I remembered nobody knows anything, and I was like, yeah, I don't know. Look at Bexx down there staying all chill, just sitting there gathering information.
And also the constant infidelity between the two of them, you know, or something like that, right? It's always like something like that. It's never just one thing when it comes to a marriage, really. I mean, if it is just one thing, then they didn't have much of a marriage to begin with. So
who knows, man? Who knows? they had like all those Wi-Fi's and like Nest like things and like all the Wi-Fi hookups and their washers. He could like tell you like
Oh,
text me,
like
be
a smart home.
yeah, he'd like text me and be like, haha, I just like he'd be like send me a photo and be like, haha, I just put my like told my clothes to dry or something. I'm like, I don't give a shit. Like, what are you talking about? And, like, but like I always felt like the Wi-Fi really messed with them though, for real. And plus, I have a friend who works. Actually, I'm gonna meet her tonight. Actually, for like probably some dinner or something. But I have to talk to her about some serious things for real. But she
You
works
trying to
with
date her?
Google. Huh?
You trying to date her? You said.
I can't say that out loud, but
Oh,
she
okay.
Well,
she
now
works.
saying that admitted it.
Sure, for whatever you think, Chris. I mean, it's always, you're always right. Who am
You
I to
think she
tell you?
watches this stream?
No. Listen, so she works. She's worth like Google, like she works with Google, and like I have a and so like have you guys ever heard of the Sherwin Williams?
Oh, what video?
Sherwin Williams. It's a paint company.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. All right. So she's the person whose company, but like she heads it, was in charge of making their application for their phone. So like where you could take a picture of your shit in your house, and then you could like change whatever color you want. You could see what it looked like before you bought the paint.
Oh, yeah.
The paint's real expensive, man. Like the good shit's like incredibly expensive. So that was her job. So she works high up in Google. So I have some ideas actually that I've been given from in order to talk to her about.
If she's a kindred soul, then she'll be
Hey,
like
Ansel.
totally down for like totally down to clown, right? So yeah.
Oh, Chris.
Well, let us know how it goes.
But okay.
You trying to get with
I'm
a
just saying, like,
technocrat?
if she's like a kindred soul to you, if you guys are
Like if you show her, he's like if you show her fire.
She's gonna be totally into like like using that influence to like do some like fucked up shit, right? So,
No.
See if she
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay, so Chris is going the Stephen angle, the Stephen engaged with.
around. It's
No, I
like
know.
you said, it's Saturday. We're just sitting around like making fun of.
Yeah.
No,
By the
so-
way, were you able to find that Swans documentary?
The Swans, dude, I looked for the Swans. I searched for most of the time. I searched that Northern Fry thing. That thing is.
That got memory hold. I'm telling you. And there's another. Okay, do you know who Christine is, the drag queen? She used to have a video called Butt Muscle with that model, that fashion designer Rick, somebody that the long hair, the slimy, scummy looking famous fashion designer.
I think I know each other sort of.
And it was taken off of YouTube, but it was still on Vimeo, and now it's not even on Vimeo. I cannot find this video anywhere. I have to see Butt Muscle. So if you can look for Christine, Christeene, Butt Muscle.
Okay,
That's
I'll look, but I think with the Northern Fry thing though, I think there's a way to get it. I think it's going to be a matter of contacting the university though.
I wonder, like through one of those library services, like Canopy or something.
Yeah, see, I think I think there's a contact link
in Toronto. Does it have to be someone in Toronto, or can anybody in Canada look for it? Because we got Bexx and Frank.
The channel that used to be on was called. Oh shit, what was it called? I think I already closed the tab, but there was a channel that was on that was like part of that whole like website that was like listed there as like on the website, that the university website is like the source of it. And I think that as far as I can tell, that channel was their website. So there was the whole series, the Canadians. Like I found links to almost all their videos, but they're all privated.
I wonder if Jordan Peterson had anything to do with that.
I don't know, but I feel like if I contacted the university and I was like, I was a student doing it.
Please let us watch this video.
Yeah, if I told them I was a student doing
I know we're American, but please.
Yeah, I feel like my contact and say I'm a student doing a research project on Northern Fry or something like that. I think that I could probably get it because
I'm determined to see this video again.
Well,
anyway, I can get Swans today. I can get it for a day, so we can watch that after this.
I looked for a little bit, but I can't find it. Well,
Lanza. Bye, Lanza. Take care. Sorry.
Hey, Bexx.
Our comeback
Are you
up.
okay?
Well, hello.
It sounds like it was some. It's kind of it sounds like some pretty fucked up shit that happened last night. So.
No, I'm so out of the loop. I'm blissfully out of the loop. I just, but I do happen to wake up in the morning and hop, skip, and jump through different live streams just to catch up on yesterday's events. And usually in about 10 or 15 minutes, I can, with the drama out there in the world, I can definitely catch up quickly. I got caught up in the tail end of your live stream though when Fatty was talking about time. I thought it was interesting. Yeah, I really appreciated the conversation leading up to it, and your guys' insights on stuff. So I spent more time, less time in the drama, but yeah. So yeah, it might have been exciting for other people, but it's a typical day in the panelverse, I think.
Yeah,
Happened.
it's nice. They have like the drama quarter where the people that want
Yeah.
the drama can go and get it, and then there's other channels that have less of it for people that want that. So I think it's building up to be a very diverse little community.
I still know who London. I don't know who London is, so I don't know anything about that.
Oh, bro, London's legit. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. He seems legit to me.
Who won Verbal Combat last night? Does anybody know?
No.
Nobody.
I think verbal combat needs to refine that format before anyone can care about it again.
Well, isn't it? Sorry,
Well,
I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead, Chris.
Oh,
I was just going to say that. Yeah, please go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go back.
It seems like people that end up winning most of the battles are just people that like.
All it is I-Fi won one night. Come on.
No, okay, that's not even possible.
Yeah, I know.
I think I've learned on watching people on YouTube in arguments. Don't most people go away from the argument both thinking they won?
Yeah.
Well,
it depends on who you ask. Andrew
maybe.
and I debated. That's exactly what happened. If you asked Andrew's side, he kicked my ass and I bombed. If you asked my side, Andrew was embarrassing and I wiped the floor with him.
Andrew who?
Andrew Wilson from the Crucible.
Really? You debated him?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, but back in the day, that's before I even knew
Satanism and gay marriage, and all we did was fight the whole time. Yeah, all we did is like
it
over
was
each other the whole time.
It wasn't really a fun thing to watch. It was just Andrew just being like a nasty asshole. That's the reason it's also the reason I don't like Andrew. Because he's a complete.
But that's because he was on the defense. When he's not on the defense, he debates differently. So that's a tell right there.
Yeah. On the other hand, whenever he went after Bosch, I was on his side because Bosch was a moron.
Oh yeah, I loved watching him on Clock Bosch.
Bro, though, like on some real shit though, like, the only time I've ever seen Andrew Wilson debate anybody was, I was on spent some time over at TML's. Like I was like on his panels and stuff, and like trying to like see what people were about and see what people were saying and this and that. And then, but I never really went back and watched his like early like actual videos. And one of them was Andrew Wilson, bro. I couldn't believe.
You know TML and Andrew?
Yeah, I couldn't believe.
That's one of my favorite ones. Watching him go at it. The whole debate is like, you motherfucking cocksucker! You're a cocksucker! You're a cocksucker!
The problem was when, like you said, when Andrew would get cornered, he would go and reach for some like crazy shit, and he would like stir it up, like in order to like take attention away from the fact that he didn't have an answer, and that happened when
that's rhetoric over dialect.
Oh, it was bad, dude. It was real bad. Like it's super noticeable for anybody with a brain that this guy was just like grasping. It's like if you're really there to like listen, you would at least listen and not just say the opposite or something and just grab for some straw. Like it doesn't, it's like, are you there because you're there? Or are you there because like someone else wants you there? Almost like.
Yeah, I don't trust Andrew any further than I could throw him myself, but which isn't far. He seems like
I could throw Andrew pretty far.
You think he's small?
I'm not familiar with him. My only introduction to the Crucible was through and that's where one of the first things I saw TML do as well was his debate with the Crucible. And one of the only things I've ever watched.
That's how I met TML, was through the Crucible.
Yeah, and I thought,
And
I
the
thought,
first time
you know, I
that's how I
personally
found
thought
PF
TML
Ewing. I
killed it.
watched his debate with Vosh, and Andrew was the moderator.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
So-
and the other thing I saw from Andrew, these are the two big things I saw. The first thing I ever saw from Andrew was actually the Jim Bob and Owen debate. And like and I just remember Andrew was kind of like
Oh, like
cutting
Bear
it.
Owen, the Bear Club guy.
Yeah. But yeah, Andrew Wilson kept like cutting in and like saying like stupid shit. And I noticed, yeah, it's just like, it's just not like real, dude. It's just, I'll be honest with you, like 100%.
It's entertainment. Like, he knows what his audience wants, and he knows how to give it to them. But he's not there to like sense make or truth make or get to the bottom of issues.
Yeah, he's
there to
definitely not
hold
there
a
to educate people. That's for sure.
What, I got blocked. I had a 20-minute interaction with the Crucible only ever, and I
You
went
got
to
blocked?
it.
In
Yeah, man.
in the YouTube comments or in the Discord?
Yeah, because like all they had was, they had like 5 or 6 like really pretty women on, and like I couldn't believe the shit that was coming out of their mouth that they were saying to these women, and then these women were like participating in the stupidity, and I was like, yo, what the fuck is this? So I noticed that Andrew Wilson hadn't moved his hands from the table. Like they were in the same exact spot for like 15 minutes straight. Like he didn't know what to do with his hands. So I just said something about it in the chat. And like the other guy who was sitting right next to him, he even said, he goes, I was so bored. He goes, thank you for giving me something to do. And then he blocked me. I was like, yeah, dude, what is? And people are like donating like hundreds of dollars to ask the stupidest fucking questions in the world. They're like, oh, what does fucking free will mean or something? And then like, who cares what Andrew fucking Wilson thinks on that? Like, you know, I don't know. Like, he was shaming people too, dude. Like, that's what I didn't like actually, is that he was shaming. But he was like receiving like hundreds and thousands of dollars, bro. Thousands of dollars to degrade these women on camera with stupid fucking ideas while not moving his hands. I don't know. I don't know what to make of that other than like.
Was that when you talking about like the Whatever podcast or on his own show?
I was only on there once. Crucible, I believe.
Well, I mean, I'm not trying to. I'm just curious. Like, what was it about him not moving his hands that was so weird to you?
Well, the fact that he wasn't a human being and didn't move for 15 minutes.
Oh,
like,
okay.
It's just not natural. Like,
yeah, no,
like, he could have shit his pants in that time. Like, he was just sitting there. Like, he really could have had a diaper on or something. Like, you couldn't tell. Like, I mean, there's many things that a human could think of. You know, like, I don't know what he was doing other than not moving his hands. I don't know what he was, dude, he's like, probably just attracted by the light. You know, he's attracted by the money. He's attracted by the attention and shit like this. And he's willing to,
right.
he's willing to sell his, you know, he's willing to sell his, you know, whatever. And
you know what? I don't even blame him for that, because like being as poor as I am,
I don't blame him, but I mean, it's stupid. It's still stupid, regardless of who it is. It's just another face on the same character of sellout. I mean, it's a sellout with a different name, face. It's like a Sims character, bro.
So, like, just doing things for money is selling out.
When you compromise logic and you compromise morality, I believe that you're on the path of what you just said. Yeah.
I don't know if Andrew was ever in it for the logic, so I don't know how much compromise happened there from the start.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Well, I mean, logically, if that's true, then logically, I could punch him in the face and nothing would happen, right? No, I wasn't in it to, you know.
I mean, you could try. See what happens.
I mean, it's a grift. At the end of the day, it's a grift. What do you want me to say, bro?
You know, everyone's a grift, like potentially a grift. We never really know who's doing it, because if they're really, really good, you're gonna think they're in it for sincere, non-grift reasons. Like I'm about the only non-grifter right now because I'm not monetized. So y'all can be pretty sure I'm not doing this for money. But people
Well, that's a
that are
good thing.
monetized, any one of them could potentially be grifting, and we're never gonna know who the real ones are. So
Well,
I just kind of take them at their word until I have a reason not to.
And I want to be a grifter so badly. I'm like I want
I
it.
can't though. I don't. Even if I could, like I know internally I couldn't do it.
I'm
long term.
joking.
I can't just take money for nothing. Like just because people want to give it to me for false hopes or something.
I think one of the biggest grifts online can be people, and I'm not saying this about Andrew or implying this about anyone in particular, but you know, I would say is false Christianity, right? Like people actually claiming to be Christians, and then you can see that they're not living by what one would interpret a Christian code of conduct to be. But also,
Christians have been saying that about each other for centuries.
Yeah, but that's where I would say that. I mean, that's
you're saying it's a great divide.
Well, yeah, and it can be people claiming to be Christians to make Christians look bad, right? Like, so.
Like a psyop.
Yeah. I know exactly what you're saying, girl.
Are you talking about like the Arthro Bro cult? Jay Dyer and the Arthro Bros are just Christians in general. I haven't had any really negative interactions
your
with
response
Christians.
to that just made me laugh
The
so hard. Oh my god.
First Christian I've met on here is Joshua Jones, who's not even a Christian.
Bexx don't want to name. Bexx don't want to name no one. She want us to name people. I bet you.
Well, no, I just know that
dude,
it's
I know
not
how these bitches play. I know these bitches play.
You know, I'm all about
it's not that I don't want to name them. It's not for me to like judge how somebody practices their faith, right? Or you know, even expresses like. But I see a lot of superstition behind a lot of people's faith, right? Like that's what I see is, and superstition is based in you know, the 1828 dictionary of superstition has all to do with, you know, blindly following something religiously. So I just think that, you know, some people, they may actually, you know, have double blinded themselves through their own indoctrination and not even realize that they've uplifted a false Christian voice by following what they're.
Okay, I have a question then about this indoctrination stuff. If let's assuming people were not indoctrinated, what would they think naturally on their own without the programming?
Well, I'm with you on that. Like, because a doctrine is something is a framework to adhere to until otherwise, you know, challenged. I would say, like, you know, I went to school. I studied economics. I became indoctrinated into comprehending things a specific way, and it gave me a framework to question things in the world without being, you know, and to be, you know, I felt like I was slightly institutionalized when I left school. But it gave me 15, 20 years later, you know, the critical thinking I have as a result of that indoctrination is something I really value. Having shed that need to get an A+ aside and really critically thinking about what I was taught. So
A+. I didn't even know those existed. I didn't even know A+ existed.
Yeah, in my family, you got grounded if you didn't.
Did you see the community episode?
That's why you just change your grades on the computer.
I had a friend like that. Her mom would her mom was one of the teachers at our school, and she'd get punished if she brought home a B. That was like as good as an F to them, and she'd get punished.
Bexx is the girl that's gonna be like, my one professor gave me a B+ just to teach me a lesson.
I didn't actually excel. I got grounded a lot for my grades. It wasn't till university.
Where like one of the teachers admits that minuses aren't real. Like, there's no such thing that really is an A-. It's just something they do just to bring like A students down a grade, just to like give them like a humility check. And like there's like this whole riot on campus because minuses aren't real, and like it's pretty funny. Sorry.
I definitely rebelled. I definitely didn't. I like to do a minimal in, maximal out equation for studying. I did very little to achieve the best grade I could, and that kept me, yes, in a B and above range most of the time. But I also kept me grounded through a lot of high school. Not that I listened.
You know, Hank. One time I asked Hank, I was like, "What do you think the GPA of like a typical neurodivergent person is?" He said 3.5. I was like, "Dude, I don't even think I'm neurodivergent. I think I'm like less than that."
Oh, you certainly are. What did you do well in school? Well, I mean, nobody would mistake you for neurotypical. Is what all I was saying.
But what I would say
You
too
ever heard
is
my
that,
best man speeches?
Lanza,
some people,
did you do okay in school?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, I did great in school, but what does that have to do with anything? Like, I mean, I like, okay.
She said it had to do with. Well, she said it had to do with like a framework that she realized.
I tested out of college range every time I took an aptitude test, but my grades were usually, and I was even grading myself, and they were usually B's.
I would purposely do bad so they didn't know how smart I was. If that answers any of your questions.
well, yeah, that's what I was going to say. I learned in university that some of the students getting C's and C minuses were unwilling to just regurge and purge for a grade. They wanted to affect the mind of the teacher and they wanted to express their own thoughts. So, you know, a lot of people that get average grades are people who actually could get A pluses and choose to challenge the narrative and take the opportunity to share their own ideas with professors. So,
yeah,
that
but
supports what you were saying.
the incentive remains for the system to get your intuition, send it to a offshore bank account, have it acquired. You know, it's like, bro, it's scams on every level. I get everyone doesn't get this, but like, you know, we're talking about indoctrination. Yeah, I mean, who was
You're saying all is
I don't have a problem with indoctrinating kids into their ABCs, their multiplication tables, and whatever else you need to have a functioning society. People have been doing that since like the ancient Greeks.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
even
but kid,
beyond.
like let's say you and me, Jeff. Let's say you and me came up with an idea that saves every single vehicle on Earth 20% on their gas bill for their vehicle for gasoline. The world that you're speaking of will, at minimum, try to silence, if not buy that product off the shelf on some black project money and shelf that shit so that the rest of humanity cannot receive those benefits. So it's both ways. We're like, oh, they're giving us these benefits. Okay, well, they're also keeping everything away and lies to you every day as well.
What are they
get the
keeping
weather
away?
right?
Who's keeping what away?
Patents. I don't know. Whoever like buys and shelves patents, I don't know who it is. It's probably like NASA related, or it's probably like Department of Defense or NSA, if I had to guess.
You mean patent trolls?
Well, that's you talking about like when people have an idea and they patent it, that's keeping it away.
Yeah, like no, that's not it.
Like, there are these people that buy up patents from like lots of
no, it's not patent trolls, Chris.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
It's so my neighbor actually came up with some sort of way to make these things out of plastic or something that go underneath your vehicle. They can make it per vehicle. And the government bought that patent off of him for like, I don't know, 20 mil or some shit, which is like not that great.
For plastic under your vehicle?
Not that great, in my opinion, for what? Like, because what he was doing was he was resolving rust under all vehicles. So would you rather have no rust under your vehicle, or would you rather have the government, who you pay money to, buy something that keeps you from keeping rust off your vehicle? Which one would you rather have? I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, it's pretty black and white.
What did he have to sell? Did he have the option not to sell?
Everybody does.
Why did the government want his patent?
Because it would take out some sort of part of the industry that they felt was necessary for the development of the quote unquote country that they are lying to us about on the media, but in secret will pretend, they will Back
Well, that's
to
why
the
I was
answer.
wondering if he had the option to not sell. All he had to do was tell them no, and then their plan is thwarted.
And then what happens to him, Jeff?
He capitalizes on his own patent. He gets the benefit from
20 million or a bullet in the head. Which one are you taking?
it. Come on, Lanza.
I'm serious. You think these people play around? You think the government plays around?
Like going around and assassinating people that don't sell their patents.
There used to be a guy on fucking YouTube, bro, that would get like 100 miles per gallon off of water on his vehicle. He's dead now. Like within a year after he posted the vehicle. The government is not there to help your interests. They are there to tell you that they're there to help your interests.
I'm neither one. They've never told me they're here to help my interests, and they've never tried to hinder my interest either. They're kind of just there in the background.
All right, guys. I think we have lost Jeff.
I don't know if you ever had me. I feel like I'm a normal part of society. I'm a culture to American society. None of it's weird
You'd be
to me.
surprised, man. You'd be surprised.
Y'all didn't have
Yeah.
Schoolhouse Rock growing up. That's what happened to y'all.
I have a shirt with Schoolhouse Rock on. That's enough.
No, it's not. Obviously not. Oh, look. So did the government try to buy that? Like, why does the government let some people have their patents and then they buy other people's?
Because some of them are airtight as fuck, bro. That's the reason why, like, Tesla's patents aren't. I mean, I don't know, dude. Like, there's not much avenues in terms of applicability of ingenuity, of inventiveness. You're not getting a lot of support from the. If you can help people, you're more than likely going to be paid less than if you can hurt people.
Then if you
In
can
this
what?
world, I'm telling you now, it's a.
Oh, I know
It
that.
might not be a fact, but
I help people
it's
for a living too. I know what it pays.
so like if I can come up with an application, like say I work with DARPA, right? And I tell DARPA, hey, I'm real smart, and they believe me, and blah, blah, blah. And we come up with an app, and they tell me, hey, we got algorithms that'll tell people to hurt themselves, like on Facebook, on Instagram, and TikTok. This shit isn't on, it's not on accident, bro. Like none of this stuff is on accident. You're not.
Can I tell you what the AI says?
Sure.
It says the U.S. government generally doesn't buy patents outright from individual citizens. The patent systems grants the inventor exclusive rights to their invention, not ownership that can be sold. It says there are some instances where the government might acquire rights to an invention. One is the government can negotiate a licensing agreement with the patent holder to use it for a specific purpose, often
Most
with
ideas are
royalties.
shit.
The second one, listen to this. This is eminent domain. In rare cases,
No eminent domain.
it's not common. This is rare. The government may use eminent domain to take ownership of a patent if it's critical for national security or public good. This is a complex legal process with compensation provided to the patent holder. So this might be what you're talking about.
Well, that's what I said.
Well,
I mean,
and I can give you an example. Someone close to me worked with some geneticists in Texas like 20 years ago to come up with an invention that allowed in vitro fertilization to not be to have an opportunity for the mother to carry the embryo in a contraption inside her versus in a what do they call it, an incubator of sorts, right? Like, so instead of sitting on a shelf in a lab, it was immediately done in a little device that then was implanted in the woman and pulled out 6 months or 6 weeks later to see how viable the embryos were and to now supplant those embryos back into the uterus. And it vastly decreased the cost of fertility treatments for the masses. And this person was Canadian and he worked with Americans, and the American government did what you just said, I'm assuming, because I know that this person close to me actually didn't. They kept their rights separate from the Americans they were working with, and years later went to the government and had closed door meetings with the government, who said, like, we can't afford to offer cheaper fertility to the masses given our social safety net in Canada. Right. So in essence, he wanted to crowdfund to make this available to the people. But in essence, the Canadian government offered him way more 10 years later than they would have 10 years prior. And I never asked, but he ended up with quite a bit of wealth and could very well have sold out. And in that case, it was a public goods that they would be concerned about, right?
Well, I mean, that technology is
I need to
available.
patent something. What can we patent?
The FDA patents vitamins. They patent natural living things on Earth, and they change the nomenclature, and they derive it synthetically, and then they can technically, quote unquote, own it. Yeah. So I mean, like, dude, like, business is ruthless.
I want to make some designer antlers and patent them. I like your idea of the antler headphone microphone.
Yeah,
like an antenna.
Antler headphone microphones, and but
and then we can market. Like, I could do the marketing for it, and
there has to be something. There has to be something. You have to be able to use the antlers for antennas or something like that to actually make it patentable, because otherwise it's just like a design thing.
I'm trying to listen.
You could copyright it, but you couldn't like patent it. It has to have some
I need
technological
something I can patent, because we got to get. We can find something to patent. We wouldn't have to worry about monetizing.
That's what I was telling you. My friend who works for Google, me and her today.
Okay, well, this is
I hope your date with the girl was well. I really do.
Wow. We could make.
I hope you find out you guys are like soulmates, and like you can use that power for good. I really do.
Well, if you guys don't believe in me, this show's getting no kickbacks. I can tell you that.
I do. Lanza, I do believe in you. Actually, like weirdly enough, I believe in Lanza. Okay, I'll say it loud and proud. Like, I believe in Lanza.
Oh, I do too.
You have no idea, bro. You guys have no idea.
I don't know. Well, I have just the idea I get from seeing you on the panel, but that's about it. But I see a lot of potential in you. I just can't tell if you're not following because you choose not to, or because you don't think it's there, or you just have other interests. But I definitely see potential if you did want to.
I'm like Lanza 2024. That's where I'm at. I'm like Lanza for president.
We used to have a salt lick, and I used to lick it as a kid. It was for the sheep.
Hey, no joke, Lanza. I'd rather have you as president than either Trump or Biden.
So, absolutely. Oh, I would vote. I'd
vote Bexx before any of you guys.
I would feel so much.
I would too. I'd also vote for Bexx.
I'm not even kidding.
I don't even know Bexx, but I know you guys. I'd vote for her.
I'd have either one of you as president before I'd have Trump or Biden as president. So I mean
that was an underhanded one there.
He hasn't picked his VP.
Daniel's got a good tagline there. Antler headphones, gay deers for your ears. That's great.
Oh, no.
Great tagline.
Yeah. If we get this patent and this funding, Daniel.
Oh wow! You just gave me an idea, dude. Like, what if like gay deer were like worth more money than like heterosexual deer? And you could prove that you killed the deer while it was being gay, and it was like worth more money. Like, that'd be crazy. That'd be like how. That'd be like.
Do they have gay deer?
Hey,
people put values on crazy shit, bro.
It would reduce the deer population, which deer are kind of a problem. They're have you ever actually encountered a deer in real life?
Yeah, dude, that's yesterday.
Intelligent.
Yes, there have been documented instances of same-sex behavior in deer, including mounting by males on other males. So deers have done butt sex with each other.
Yeah, they have like deer like literally will like
I had
stand to the
highly
side of the
doubted
road.
that.
Wait, what? Chuck, what the fuck? God damn it. Can you leave us one little tiny patent? Some like just one little piece of something we could patent, please. We got to do better, guys.
Yeah, that was.
Shit,
Amazon.
it's already happened.
Fuck. Okay, well, Satan horns, Satan antlers. We need Satan merchandise. Satan is a religion. It's like it's starting to trend now, and it's going to need merchandise. We could
trend.
A satanic line, a brand, and started with
Panic in the attic, man.
Yeah. We can get Kevin to do our theme song.
I don't know. Can anyone logically prove that the ending of that will be good? Or something?
Daniel, if if any of this takes off, I'm
yeah, you just
gotta. I'm willing to be very generous with whatever help.
I can't send royalty checks to the anonymous YouTube troll account, but
this is a community project, though. Ultimately, this channel is just part of a larger thing, and I do want people to get credit for what they contribute. So
I've said it. I've said it twice.
Have some kind of little virtual economy going where people can get rewarded for what they bring here.
I said it twice, man. You guys weren't listening. My friend works with Google, high up, creates apps for massive companies, give her ideas. One of them I've got from the metaverse. I guarantee, oh man, StreamYard's gonna love me.
We should have a brainstorming sessions soon and put all our ideas together. And I bet we distill a patent out of it somewhere in there. Damn.
You'd be surprised, man. You think this is the first time I talked to all my friends for the last 20 fucking years about the same exact thing. They don't listen. I don't believe you guys will listen to me, to be honest. None of them do. And
You don't believe?
It's all right.
Did you say something, Adam?
I think so.
I was just kidding. I was just
but Frank, you're not factoring in the neurodivergence. When neurodivergent people come together, we can generate ideas and perspectives that might be a little different than what other people would generate. I think for that reason, it's worth attempting.
I mean, you can't
show
take
the world
seriously. What he just said, he said, "There's nothing original or tiny minds conceive of that's not been already thought of." Like, fuck you.
But he's thinking like a neurotypical. Like he's look at his profile icon, for crying out loud.
You're a monkey, Frank.
He's just at a different stage of evolution. He can't conceive what we're talking about.
And don't pretend like you're not our friend. You're not our friend off the stream. Don't pretend like you're not, like you don't hang out with us and spend time with us off stream.
Don't interrupt the truck while he's working. That's dangerous.
He's got that Chrome. He's got those Cro-Magnon genes still, I think. You know what I mean?
Frank, look at my couch. Hang on, I gotta show.
You guys are talking about Frank? I didn't know that. I'm sorry. Frank's a great guy.
No, he's hijacking it just for a second. Look,
Frank
if I sit just the right way, it's my porno couch. I put my fur blanket on it. There you go.
Oh,
hey,
couch behind it? You have a casting couch back there?
Oh, okay. I was gonna go prior to when Chris said that already, so just so that's for the record. All right, I'll see you guys later.
Oh, okay. Well, take care, Lanza. Yes, Daniel, exactly that. Like Temple Grandin, she had the brain that could come up with shit. Like if we get like enough, like I think like 4 or 5 of us would probably equal one Temple Grandin. So if we get enough of us, we could pull something off.
I think it's the opposite. I think
maybe
4 or 5 of us
equals
like 8
misguided in this.
Because we think so far outside the box that like we think of things that the people the neurotypicals can't even like conceive of.
Right. We just have to execute it.
That is the problem. Is execution. Yeah. That's the real problem. It's the follow through. I'm great at starting projects. I'm really bad at finishing them.
Yeah, because I do it. I I rely on intrinsic motivation, and everyone involved having that. And if they don't, I don't have external methods for getting people to do what they're supposed to do. I rely on them to do that. Like they're involved because they're as inspired by it as I am. So that's what drives them to meet their obligations, commitment, etc. So if that's not what if they don't have that, then I don't know how to make things happen with people that don't bring that. Think outside the chicken coop. I'm just trying to think outside the trailer park right now.
Well, Frankton, if you're so good at original thought, then you tell me one thing that's outside the chicken coop, as you put it.
Boobs.
Give me one thing.
What you think he's gonna say? Boobs.
Tranny boobs.
Tranny boobs. Yes. Can we patent tranny boobs? Is that a new thing? Is that innovative enough?
Maybe so. You know what? It doesn't affect me. It doesn't affect my beliefs or faith.
I mean, he was definitely. Let's just say he was probably not neurotypical. He was highly original. Not necessarily thinker, but teacher, whatever he was. Well, Frank, Chris and I are watching. We're watching some like rock and documentaries, music people documentaries. We're doing the Swans after this, and Sigur Rós later. And I had thought of another one too, and I forgot.
I'm just wondering how Moose stirred up trouble by saying afternoon Bexx. I don't understand what the
Moose. Did you get kicked off of Talcott's yesterday, or was that your connection? Because you started talking, and then next thing you know, gone. All right. Well, I guess it is winding down. So no need.
I'm sorry
no
for
need to delay.
I apologize for my contribution to the dead air.
It's okay. You're fine. It's all right. Not everybody has to talk all the time. I was a little concerned whenever I heard all this bullshit that with Growling went on last night. But if you're okay with it, then
No, we'll finish the cow show late. We're just gonna watch this documentary. We'll definitely do more cow show.
Why don't we watch the cow show? Why don't we watch the final? We only have one episode left of Out of Range. Why don't we watch the rest of that? And then we'll do the documentary.
What if we did the documentary in the cow show?
I don't know if anybody else wants to watch it besides us. That's all.
All right, fine. We'll do the cow show. But I got all excited for rock documentaries today.
Yeah, I did too. But at the same time, it's only fair. We have other people here that want to watch the last episode Out of Range. I think it's fair.
I know, but that when do we ever get to watch our new stuff? If it's always
series.
Well, right after it's only.
I want people to be able to watch what they want and not feel like they can't watch something just because there's been a pattern already set of people watching other things.
And then after we watch the last episode of the season, we have a whole new season to watch. If that, then we can start tomorrow or something.
Of the cow show?
Yeah, there's a whole season of it.
Oh Lord, I didn't know. So we just have one episode left.
One episode left of the first season.
And they're gonna we'll find out something maybe.
Yeah, and then there's a whole other 8 episodes that just came out.
It kind of feels like Prison Break rebranded, though. I mean, don't get me wrong; it's more exciting. Although Prison Break had its own, allure, right? But that was a long seasons of definitely not busting out of jail. So this,
I really want to watch a farmer go shoulder deep in a cow snatch. Okay, I don't even know what that means, Daniel. I don't even know how to I don't even know how to interpret that as an insult or anything. I'm just that's such a strange thing to accuse me of that I don't even know how to respond to. I'm oh, okay. If maybe I do, I don't even know. I don't know that I do. I can't defend or attack that. I don't know. Yeah, I know, Daniel. It was I was trying to joke back. Sorry. Anyway. Yeah, why don't we go watch Out of Range?
Okay, we can do that. What was the comment? I missed it.
Oh, he said that I really wanted to watch a farmer go shoulder deep in a
Oh,
cow.
okay, yeah, that was the comment. Okay, well, Frank.
Well, then I
Frank
thought-
would know. Definitely trust
Yeah,
his
when you-
judgment.
Yeah, when you shared Where Does a Body End as an answer to the documentary, what the documentary is called, I thought
that is
was
the Swans documentary that we were going to watch.
Yeah.
That's the title of that one. And then
I thought that was a joke in reference to where the body ends when it can't go further into a cat snatch.
the cow body. Like,
yeah.
No, that was no.
No, unrelated. Unrelated.
Yeah, that's Daniel being a disgusting pig.
Thanks for having me. I will sign off first, and I will see you guys in Discord.
Okay. Yeah. You're gonna come watch Out of Range. Cool. See you there.
Okay. All right. Well, see you in the Discord.
Right. I'm signing off too, guys. Good night, and I'll see you on Discord. Good night.
Okay, that's it for today. Back tomorrow for another open panel. Hanging out on the Discord the rest of the day, watching cow stuff and and music stuff. Swans and Sigur Rós, their documentary where they return to Iceland and tour it. It's fantastic. And a bunch of other stuff. So see you then and see you tomorrow. Take care.